December 19 of Gnome Valley Christmas Adventures. The northern lights spread across the navy blue sky over the mountains. Totte's Sami gnome friend Ulda and her family are sleeping inside their little cot. Suddenly, the Lapland dogs, Aslak and Slurfy, wake up to a strange smell. They sniff the air and start growling. Ulda wakes up to the growling and peeks carefully out of the cot. Ulda stares in fear of the giant troll creature lurking around in the moonlight. He's not too far away from her cot. Ulda knows exactly what the troll creature is looking for and crawls back to her mom as silent as possible. Eadni, här är det. Ulda shakes her mom vigorously to wake her up. Mikä heter? Ulda's mom murmurs sleepy. Stalo on tele. Ulda whispers and trembles in fear, with tears in her eyes. Soon, Ulda and her mom hear loud screaming and loud, angry voices. Ulda's father peeks inside the cot and shouts that Stalo has kidnapped Ayla, one of Ulda's best friends. Ulda's grandfather, the elderly Sami gnome Nutte, rushes inside a cot, sending a letter to Grandfather Troll. In the troll forest, Grandfather Troll, Milvus, and Falcon shovel the snow away when a snowy owl comes flying and delivers Nutte's letter. Grandfather Troll's eyes open wide as he reads the letter. Dear Grandfather Troll, Stalo has yet again terrorized our village. From stealing our reindeer to now kidnapping our children. Who knows what he'll do to our little Ayla? We hope you can come and help us as soon as possible. Yours truly, Nutte. Ulda's father walks across the cot nervously. Stalo can't keep terrorizing us like this. I hope Grandfather Troll arrives as soon as possible, Ulda's father says and looks troubled. But father, Totte might help us, Ulda says and smiles carefully. Ulda, Totte is a gnome like us, and we're small. Stalo is a giant troll. How do you expect a gnome to defeat a troll that's at least 2 pine trees tall? Ulda's father says and sighs. Now, Aslat, Ulda might have a plan, Ulda's mom tells Ulda's father. Ulda's younger brother, Mikkel, peeks inside Ulda's family's cot. Eadni, Ulda, Totte ja adja trolli on tele, Mikkel says, and Ulda runs outside. Grandfather Troll arrives at the Sami gnome village with Totte, Lisa, Tassel, Falcon, Milvus, and Buteo. The elderly Sami gnome Nutte greets Grandfather Troll and the others as they arrive at the Sami gnome village. Ulda's mom prepares gahku, a Sami flatbread topped with smoked reindeer meat, and lingonberry juice for everyone inside the cot. So glad you all came. We need your help to get rid of Stalo for good, Aslat says and sips on his lingonberry juice. Who's Stalo? Tota asks curiously. Stalo is a giant troll that eats Sami gnome children, and he kidnapped my friend Ayla, Ulda says and looks sad. Don't worry, Don't worry, Ulda. We will get rid of him for sure and save Ayla, Totte says confidently. Stallo is dangerous. He could crush you with his bare hands, Ulda's mom says and looks worried. A while later, Totte and Ulda sit behind Falcon in the saddle, ready to ride off. Ulda, show the way to the cave where Stallo lives. Falcon tells Ulda, show the way to the cave where Stallo lives. Falcon tells Ulda. Aye, aye, Captain, she says, and Falcon urges Bulsara to run in gallop. The others stay in the Sami Gnome village, and Ulda's father sends Aslak after his daughter, Falcon and Totte. In the forest, on the way to Stallo's domain, it's cold and dark. Remains of reindeer carcasses and bones are spread across the snow. Totte holds Ulda's hands tight, and both look nervous. Suddenly, a giant foot hits the snow beside Bulsara. He races on his hind legs and bolts in full speed with Falcon, Totte, and Ulda on his back. Totte and Ulda look behind themselves and stare in fear at Stallo. The bearded giant troll, wearing armor made of iron, glares at the children and takes giant steps towards them. Stallo holds a burning tree branch and throws it at them, but the burning tree branch lands in Ulda's village. Everyone in the village starts panicking as the flames spread quickly and their cots are caught on fire. The men hurry to gather food and weapons as fast as possible. Grandfather Troll, Tassel, Milvus, and Aslat help gather all the panicking reindeer and their calves. Butteo turns around hearing a baby crying and sees a panicking, crying gnome woman. Her husband's trying to stop her from running inside a cot covered in flames. Vauani! Vauani! She screams as tears flow down her face. Se ei ole aavistustakaan rakani. Our baby is dead anyway, the husband tells his wife and looks sad. Butteo stares at the burning cot in fear, but decides to run inside the burning cot. Milvus turns quickly around and stares at Butteo running towards the flame. Milvus turns quickly around and stares as Butteo runs towards the flames. Butteo! Milvus shouts and looks nervous, but Butteo ignores him and jumps into the flames. Butteo covers his nose and mouth with his jari topi, Parsi headcloth, and rushes into the cot where a newborn baby lies crying in a komsio, a Sami wooden cradle with soft reindeer skin inside. Butteo grabs the komsio and runs with it as the roof starts falling apart. Butteo holds the cradle close to his chest as he jumps out of the cot and out of the flames. Gitu! Gitu! The Sami gnome woman shouts as she rushes towards Butteo to get her baby. She picks up the cradle and kisses Butteo on the cheeks before running away. Ulda's pet reindeer, Sarvi, comes trotting towards Butteo, and Butteo quickly jumps up on Sarvi's back. Butteo, where are you going? Milvus shouts at Butteo, looking concerned. I'm going to look after Falcon, Totte, and Ulda, Butteo says and steers Sarvi towards the forest. What about Stallo? Milvus shouts at Butteo. Milvus shouts as Butteo rides into the forest. Stallo doesn't scare me, Butteo shouts confidently as he disappears into the forest with Sarvi. Milvus smiles and looks proud. You're gonna be a great soldier someday, little brother, Milvus says and continues helping the Sami gnomes. Totte and Ulda jumps off Pulsara's back as they reach the secret entrance to Stallo's cave. I gotta go back to the village, but first I'll have to distract this giant troll, Falcon says as Stallo gets closer. Don't worry about us, Falcon. Ulda and I are gonna save Ayla now, Totte says and salutes Falcon. Falcon nods and rides off with Stallo going after him. Just as Stallo is gone, Butteo appears with Sarvi. So glad you came, Butteo. Ulda and I are going to save Ayla now, Totte says. First, we're going to have to crawl through this dark tunnel to get to Ayla, Ulda says, holding a burning torch. Ulda gives Butteo her Stora Nibi, large Sami knife, and Totte one of her Una Nibash, or Boiku, a smaller Sami knife. Then Totte and Butteo crawl after Ulda into the dark tunnel. The tunnel is cold and narrow, but Butteo, Totte and Ulda crawl carefully in it. By the end of the tunnel, a grey little mountain troll greets them. Who are you? Totte asks curiously. I'm Börje. I live in this mountain together with my wife Kebnekaisa. Nice to meet you, Börje. Do you know where Stallo keeps Ayla captured? Ulda asks. Oh, that scary old humbug. Yes, I saw a wooden cage he came with earlier, Börje says, shuddering when hearing Stallo's name. Lead us to the cage, Börje, Butteo says. Okay, kids, follow me, but stay quiet. We don't want him to find us. Börje, we don't want him to find us, Börje whispers. In a tiny wooden cage, Ayla sits all alone with a lit torch. Ayla notices Totte, Butteo and Ulda and gets very happy. Ulda, I'm so happy to see you, Ayla shouts in excitement. Hush, Totte and I are going to get you out, but we have to hurry before he finds us, Ulda whispers. Totte, Butteo and Ulda start carving on the wooden cage's bars. A while later, Börje gathers the kids and are ready to leave the cave when Stallo comes back, falling asleep quickly. Now, kids, we have to stay as quiet as possible. If we sneak out the cave without making any noise, he won't notice us, Börje whispers. Butteo, Totte, Ulda and Ayla follow Börje along the narrow mountain wall. Suddenly, Ulda hears sharp, loud barking from outside the cave. No! Aslak! Slurfy! Get away from the cave immediately! Ulda whispers, slips, and almost falls down the mountain wall. Butteo catches her quickly with his tail. But Stallo wakes up and snarls. He glares at the kids with his evil eyes. Hurry, kid! Hurry, kids! Börje shouts, and everyone starts running out of their rumbling cave. Stallo starts running after them, and Aslak and Slurfy follow Börje and the children out of the cave. Kebnekaisa watches anxiously as Börje and the children climb to the top of the huge mountain. Stallo climbs after, growling and snarling as he grabs after them with his giant hands. Falcon, Tassel, and all the others stand on top of the mountain, looking on, when Stallo's giant hand grabs the cliff's edge. The edge cracks, and Butiu, Totte, Ulda, and Ayla fall through it. Ulda, Totte, and Ayla grab onto Butiu as he rushes towards Stallo and jumps on him. Butiu notices a tall pine tree further up, close to an edge. "Hold on, everyone! We're going for that tree over there!" Butiu tells Totte, Ulda, and Ayla as he jumps among the tree branches. But as the children reach the tree, Ayla lets go of Butiu and falls towards Stallo. Stallo reaches his hand towards Ayla, but Butiu catches her with his tail and wraps it around her waist. Totte, Butiu, Ulda, and Ayla climb as fast as possible to the top of the tree when the river below starts flowing over. Börje and the other adults look on in fear as Stallo starts climbing after the children. Totte, Ulda, and Ayla hold on to Butiu as they stand on a branch of the pine tree. Butiu looks down at Stallo as he notes the roots of the tree are coming loose. "The tree is starting to tip over. If we can jump over to that cliff's edge, we will make it for sure," Butiu says. Totte, Ulda, and Ayla tremble in fear as Stallo climbs closer, but they keep holding on to Butiu. The tree tips over even more. Ulda and Ayla tremble even more in fear. "Totte, I'm scared," Ulda says. "Don't worry, I'm sure we're going to make it," Totte says, looking worried. "Jump!" Butiu shouts as the tree falls down and they jump towards the cliff's edge. As the tree falls, Stallo manages to grab onto Butiu's tail and drags Butiu down into the flowing river. Totte, Ulda, and Ayla land onto the hard cliff's edge. Ulda and Ayla hug each other. "We did it! We made it!" Ulda shouts in happiness. "Well, not all of us made it," Totte says, looking sadly down at the river, now flowing calmly along the mountainside. Ulda and Ayla crawl to the edge, looking down at the river, when Butiu's Jaritopi comes floating on top of the water. Börje's sons, Stig and Kiwi, pull it up on top of a rock. Totte takes off his little pointy gnome hat and sheds tears. Kebnekaisa wraps her arms gently around Totte, who buries his head to her chest. Ulda wraps an arm around Totte when Börje and the other adults come running towards the children. But suddenly Ayla hears a familiar noise. "Ulda, Totte, katso!" Ayla shouts and smiles. She sees the beavers, Castor and Maja, come swimming with Butiu, hanging with his arms over their backs. Butiu climbs up the cliff's edge, and Falcon quickly covers Butiu's naked body with his cloak. Totte hugs Butiu and buries his head in the cloak. Butiu laughs and strokes Totte's back gently. "Well done, little brother," Milvus says and looks at Butiu with a proud smile. "Oh, I love happy endings. Now let's go home and eat some gurpi or sovas," Börje cheers happily. "Oh, darling, you only think about food," Kebnekaisa says, holding little Lumi and Ullis. The sun rises and colors the snow-covered tops of Kebnekaise. Börje drums on the Sami ceremonial drum, and Butiu wears a dark blue Sami gahti, Sami traditional clothing. Butiu receives a Sami bracelet and a necklace with their sun wheel. For your bravery, you're a welcome member of the Sami gnome family, Nuhte tells Butteo and smiles. Ayla turns to Ulda and whispers, Onko hän sinkku? Butteo tarkoitan. Ulda giggles. En usko kulta. A white reindeer is sacrificed on top of a cliff's edge, and Ulda's father and grandfather play the ceremonial drums, yoiking. Ulda's mom shows Butteo and Mihkel how to make kurpi, wrapping minced salted reindeer meat in the coal fat and then put it in a smoker. But Butteo sits on top of a hill looking at the reindeer herd. Ulda walks up to Totte and sits down beside him. Sarvi, Aslak, and Slurfi joins them. Don't you want to eat some kurpi or kahku, topped with sovas, with me by the fire? Ulda asks. Yeah, but I'm going to miss this place so much. All the reindeer and you, Totte sighs. Don't worry, Totte. We'll see each other at the Christmas market, as we always do, Ulda says and smiles. Ulda brings something out of her leather bag, a necklace with the ceremonial drum rune symbols. She gives it to Totte and kisses him on the cheek. Totte blushes and smiles at Ulda. Totte and Lisa jump up on Sarvi's back. Totte and Ulda jump up on Sarvi's back and go for a ride among the other reindeer in the sunrise. Aslak and Slurfi run after wagging their tails. When it's time for Totte and the others to travel back home, Ulda's mom gives Grandfather Troll a reindeer cheese and plenty of kurpi. Totte and Butteo get kahku and sovas to eat on the journey home. Ulda and Ayla stand hand in hand on top of the hill, waving at Totte and Butteo as they leave the Sami gnome village. That was December 19 of Gnome Valley Christmas Adventures, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. I hope you guys like this one.